From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the most ridiculous podcast in sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hey-o.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold May Day beer and let's get after it. Guys, today is if you're listening to this on release day, it's the day. If not, well then hopefully you came out and had a great time at Mayday Brewery for bingo night. Hopefully you won some tickets to go see Nashville SC. There's some other great giveaways that happened. I know we had a great time, and I know you made some great friends there, all you listeners out there. But hey,
not
today,
guaranteed by me. Not guaranteed by me.
Stuff.
Not guaranteed by me.
Today we got a bunch of trade news that's happening not on trade deadline day. It's people are listening to us. We got a bunch of news from outside the NHL. We've got the greatest underdogs in sports history today. We got our games of the weekend, much more. Don't forget to check us out on Twitch and Patreon to support the show. How are you this week, bud?
Great, man. I'm glad my voice is back because I was not feeling strong about it coming back from that Purdue game this weekend. Upset for the boys. But not too much of an upset for me because I'm not truly a Purdue fan. I just, picked them up as a team when I went up there. But, man, going to a Purdue-Indiana game at Mackey Arena, dude, it was sick. I had a great time. West Lafayette is a quintessential college town, man. They did it up right. So, big shout-out to Taylor for showing us around his former hometown. But a bigger shout-out to my boy Craig and my girl Cindy. They absolutely kept me fed, a place to stay. That was Taylor's grandparents, and so they were dope.
Nice.
But yeah, had a great time, had a great road trip. Was glad to be back. But how about you, man? How you been doing?
Good, man. Been busy. Went out and got my first haircut of the year. It's been a bit, so finally got to with the hot weather coming in, gotta get my summer cut going.
I actually got mine chopped last week. Got mine chopped last week as well.
Nice.
So I feel you on that, bro. I feel you on that.
Hell yeah. But yeah, just feeling good. The weather's starting to get a little warmer. I'm hoping that we get one or two more freezes, before it goes into the time of the year that I hate, which is just when it's too hot sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, let's do a quick fit check. I'm not rocking any hat. Fresh new. Literally just got home from getting my hair cut, so not wearing a hat right now, and still wearing my work clothes because I had to get here straight from work. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could have changed, bro. We're not on any type of tight schedule, so you just didn't want to. Everybody, I'm not here. I'm not a dictator on recording time, folks. But me, obviously, I went up to West Lafayette, Indiana, to see the Purdue-Indiana game. So, naturally, Bobby, what are two things I'm going to come back with? A jersey and a hat. So,
two hats.
I got multiple hats. No, just got the one hat. Actually did pretty good. Got that Purdue jersey, got this Purdue hat, the old school logo. You know how I had to do it. So, got Stephanie a sweatshirt, got my dad a shirt. So, he sent me some money to grab him some stuff. But, so
that's how you do it. Because if you just come home with a hat, that's how you do it. Because if you just come up with a hat, the wife's going to be mad that we only just come back because you got to get a hat and something for the wife.
Oh my goodness!
Then you can get away with all the. Then we can get away with all the hats.
I am well versed in spending way too much money, Bobby. You think I'm some rookie? Okay, you think I'm some rookie? You remember the time that we told our wives, "Hey, we're not coming home with any hat." Well, by the time at the end of the night when we had bought 3 hats each, you think that we weren't going to be dumb enough to come out with 4 hats each? Like, honey, got this for you, okay? don't check the debit
Yeah.
card for a couple days. All right.
uh, let's jump into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
We actually have some news to talk about.
So much
This
news.
one is a massive change. Some of these change, like, actually shake hockey and the NHL to its core. Patrick Kane to the Rangers. We talked about it last season about whether or not we would think Patrick Kane would get moved, and I think I was of the idea that I didn't think he would get moved unless they were really serious about a rebuild. Well, it seems like they have committed. I think last year they were still of the idea that they could build around Patrick Kane. I don't think you can. I don't know what they got in exchange, but I mean Patrick Kane is a.
It was not. Oh, they got.
I mean,
they got a good deal. Let me see. 2023 second round and 2023 fourth round pick. Now I'm going to look and see if we got any salary retention. I'm guessing probably so. But let's see. He's in the final year of an $84 million contract, so they wanted to get him something, $10.5 million a year. I'm not seeing if there was any salary retention or anything. That may come out a little later. But for a team that I had felt already made the best move so far, and probably one of the best moves that could have been made in the offseason in acquiring Tarasenko, goes out and acquires Kane too. And Bobby, something that we've talked about pretty regularly, beginning of the season, last season when they went out of the playoffs, was what was the Rangers missing? And it was some dudes that have won the cup there. Some guys that have been there before and know how to carry them along. I was talking more of like getting like a fourth line center that is just on a team, for some leadership. I didn't know that they were going to go out and get 4 cups on their squad to play some wing for them. So what an absolute monster trade. I agree with what you said. That shakes up the NHL in a way that we really haven't seen in a minute. Usually you have a couple pieces and okay, Nyquist going here really does that for this team and really shores up a hole. This has made them potentially a leveled up team with some players if they can get it going. So I really absolutely love that move for the Rangers.
Well, 100%. Jesse Puljujarvi to the Hurricanes cleared all $3 million off the books. That's a huge move as well. What was the details of that? Do you have that by any chance?
I do not. Let me see if I can find it for you.
While you look at that up, Keandre Miller, 3-game suspension for spitting in the face of Drew Doughty. I saw some people online say that they thought that was too much. Honestly, I think spit in the face, 3-game suspension's right on the dot.
You've landed.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, any less than 3, you're like, come on, Let's see.
Like that's listen, I get the consistency in the NHL. Oh, go ahead. What do you got?
Oh, I was just gonna say, just for a forward prospect, Patrick Pustola. So that probably explains the full carrying of the $3 million. So just not a lot of giving up from Carolina, but clears that $3 million off the book so the Oilers can go out and make a move. But yeah, anyway, you were talking spitting in the face. Yeah, 3 games is minimally right. It's not to me. We talked about it. You said, how much is face lick worth? And then we got to talking about it. Well, like, which is worse? I mean, it's definitely spit, right? Like, I mean, the lick was very controlled.
100%.
It was a very localized face lick. And while odd and strange, it doesn't feel as much like an assault as you spit on me does type of deal.
Yeah.
So So while the Rangers are pulling new wings in, they're going to have to look elsewhere for a defenseman for a few games.
Yeah. David Poyle retires, the architect of the Nashville Predators, the only GM in team history since 1998. Will step down, I believe, effective July 30th. Barry Trotz, former head coach of the Nashville Predators and the Stanley Cup winner from Washington, will replace him as GM. I think during the press conference, Barry Trotz said that it's important to have a close relationship with the head coach and stuff. Well, um, John Hines wasn't there, which kind of tells me that John Hines is a lame duck coach right now, and he's on his way out. A lot of people were cheering and hoping that David Poyle would leave. I was of the boat that, I don't think the Preds problems just magically go away with David Poyle leaving. David Poyle wasn't the cause of the problem. Well, he might have been part of it, but he wasn't the only cause.
Well, and on top of that, love Barry Trotz to death. Love the move. Would love some longevity and some good things to happen. But we would be remiss if we didn't mention that this is a guy that has not been a general manager before. And so it's not an automatic transition where Barry Trotz, I'm sure that he was well involved with front office moves and things, but when he's involved with a front office move and then he can coach his guys, it's different, right? It's a little different ball game. Yeah. And I hope I'm just being nitpicky here, but it's something you have to think about. I mean, David Poyle wasn't a slouch, in the league, and it may have been time for a change. I'm not denying that. But yeah, I mean, you got to think about Barry Trotz is here on a, he's back home. And I loved his press conference and what he said about being here and how this will always be his home for how long he was here. And maybe that'll work out. But you hope that he's able to be efficient at the job. And I think he will be. I'm not sitting here saying that he won't be. But at what point, do we start to evaluate the overall performance of Barry Trotz? I mean, he ain't getting 23 years. I'll tell you that. I mean,
no. I think he gets. I mean, I am of the school that whenever a new GM or coach, I believe at a minimum 3 years. I think, and maybe in the case of a GM, 5 years, but we this is not going to be an automatic turnaround. People can't expect. I mean, now it's the Preds. I know how Preds fans are. They're going to expect immediate stuff, but that's not going to happen.
Well, you know us though, Bobby. We look at ourselves as the tastemaker of Predators fans. We're not, all in on whatever the Predators do. That's the right thing, and we shouldn't question it. But we're also not, I don't understand this move immediately, and now I hate it, and I hate everything that the Preds have done. I think we are a good, and I'm going to say it again because I love the phrasing that I had. We're the Preds fan tastemakers. We give them the right ingredients on how to be mad or upset. So hopefully, I mean, everybody's been listening about getting these trades done before the day of deadline. I mean, I'm thinking we're influencing some folks out there, Bob.
Oh yeah. Tanner Jeannot goes to Tampa for defenseman Cal Foote, a 2025 first round top 10 protected, 2024 second, and a 2023 fourth and fifth. A big haul the Preds get for young Tanner Jeannot.
This Barry Trotz fellow's looking all right.
As a Preds fan, yeah, I mean, I like this. The Preds have some other workings in going on. It looks like there's a possibility that UC Stars could be moved. I think that's the less likely. I saw some talk about possibly Matthias Ekholm for a couple firsts, and I think I also saw Matt Duchene possibly for two first rounds as well. I mean, listen,
would love to.
If
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say,
I would love to see. I would love to see Matt Duchene or Matisse Heckle move for first round picks.
Yes, I think I honestly, if we could get both of them moved for 4 first round picks, I would take that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that those would be appropriate moves. I don't think that you move Soros. I think a good goalie is hard to come by.
Yeah.
And if you have the right goalie, that rebuild can be built a little earlier in my mind, rather than trying to find a new goalie. Um, I think you do have to keep, at least one name that the Predator, besides Yossi, of course. I mean, I think that you've locked in Forsberg for a little while. I think that's a good name to keep. I don't I don't know about Granlund. I don't know if Granlund has got some interest out there. I liked his contract where what we got with him. I don't think that he's not a piece we can't build long term with either. Uh,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I don't really understand the absurd hate for Fabro. Uh, there is a lot of hatred in the Preds fandom for a guy that's been in the league, 2 or 3 years, and didn't play a lot of AHL hockey, if I'm remembering correctly. Is that right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I don't really follow the hatred of Fabro as well.
yeah, so I think you
But
gotta have
again,
somebody.
he's not one of the guys. Like, I wouldn't be mad if we trade him though for something good though.
Yeah, but that's a long-term defenseman that can work with Yossi. You know what I'm saying? That would be my argument.
Yeah.
Is you have to keep some sort of semblance of youth in that defensive end
Oh
of
yeah.
the ice if you want to be successful after a 2 or 3 year rebuild. That's usually about the number that a GM's going to throw out. 2 to 3 years, is what it'll take for us to be next level. So I just don't know if I'm throwing out a young defenseman that works with Yossi pairing out so quickly.
Yeah. That wraps up from inside the boards. Let's head to outside the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
Nashville SC wins the home opener, and as of this morning, Tuesday morning, they were given the 8th best odds to win the the cup. So, not bad. I mean, top 10 odds. Start off the season. That's pretty good.
And it was a big win too. I mean, NYCFC. So it's not like we went out there and beat a scrub. So a good shutout. Unfortunately, both of us were unable to be at that home opener. But obviously, our voices did not need to be there for that W. So
yeah, yeah. But yeah, so great to see that. Blake Martinez, former Giants linebacker who led the league in tackles in 2017, quit the NFL to sell Pokemon cards. His business has brought in $5 million in 7 months. And you said it best right before we started that, that's a pretty easy business to get into when you already have millions to back your back.
Got millions of dollars. You could buy Pokemon cards to sell. You're good, dude. But I applaud him. That's why I threw it in there. I mean, you can lead. That's a renaissance man. This is the new Leonardo da Vinci. That's all I'm saying.
So that's wild. Let's see. Carson Wentz released by the Commanders. Who would have thought it? Oh, I did. I saw this coming a mile away. I said from the very beginning, I don't like Carson Wentz. One of my buddies who's a Colts fan said, yeah, good luck with that. And he's gone. What has it been? 2 years, if that? 1 year? I honestly don't remember.
I think it was just this year. Yeah. It was just this year. I mean, he was injured a lot of the year, and he wasn't horrendously horrendous, but I mean, he was never going to win anything there. What an interesting! I really do. The more that I watch him play, I really do subscribe to the fact that him and Prince Harry switched places. Did you? I know we talked about it on the podcast. It's been a while, but there was that big theory that,
and honestly, if that is the case, I mean, Prince Harry's not bad at football.
He's
I mean,
not
he's
bad.
not bad. I mean, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's no NFL, superstar or anything, but he's a third string guy, easy money. So, I mean,
Yeah.
he's
now, to be fair, as good as Prince Harry is at football, Carson Wentz is bad at being a prince. God, I mean, he's not great.
Well,
he's been in there for like a year and a half, and my dude is no longer. Yeah, he's no longer. You got to think Harry's like, dude, I'm like I'm still in the league. You're out of the league in your job. How did you already fail at being a prince? Like he can't be a football player or prince.
Through his career, though, I mean, it's amazing to realize. Oh, excuse me. It's amazing to realize that he's made over $100 million. I mean, Carson Wentz is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's fine with everything. Yeah. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He didn't technically even have to be the quarterback to win that Super Bowl ring. You know what I'm saying? He got it. They shipped it to him. I mean, he took him to a 13-0 record or something, right? It was like something ridiculous. Yeah. So he's had a better career than most. And it ain't like he ain't going to go out and get signed again if he wants. He going to go find a home. Oh, yeah. He ain't bad enough to be, left out in the dark. But he's just not the superstar MVP candidate that he was, man.
We have some breaking news out of Nashville. Matthias Ekholm and a sixth round pick to Edmonton. Nashville gets Tyson Barrie, Reed Schaefer, and a first this year and a fourth.
I don't hate that.
I mean,
don't hate that.
We get a first and Tyson Barrie. I'm okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, a little different styles of hockey, but Tyson Barrie's not nobody.
I like him in fantasy.
Yeah. I mean,
I liked him because he usually gets some secondary assists playing on lines with Connor McDavid.
Much better. Matthias Ekholm is a much better fit for the style of defenseman that Edmonton needs. They don't need an offensive Tyson Barrie out there scoring goals. They got a couple guys that can score a few goals.
Yeah. Nashville also retains 4% of Ekholm's salary. Yeah, Nashville retains 4% of his salary as well. It's not horrible. I think that's a good trade. I literally looked over. I have Twitter. I have Twitter open on my other page, and I saw it updated. It said trend in the United States Ekholm. I'm like, what happened? So luckily I saw that.
Look at us, dude. Normally, we would not have seen that until right after we cut recording. Dude.
Yeah.
So that's
this
a good
happened.
Catch.
This dropped 2 minutes ago.
That's a good catch.
Unfortunately, we release in 2 days, so.
But we're not talking about it next week. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah,
we don't drop in 14 days,
10 days. Yeah. Let's see here. The pitch clock seems to be working. I personally wouldn't know. I'm still not watching baseball, but I mean, I did see on Twitter that a bunch of old fashioned baseball fans are like, this is bullshit. Baseball pulled a bunch of people who don't watch baseball, how they could get them to watch baseball. So they put the pitch clock on. But what are those people doing? They're sitting in their homes watching Netflix. I'm like, why'd you put homes and Netflix in quotation marks? Do you not have a home? Do you not have Netflix? Why are you acting like it's the home part?
My man doesn't believe in homes. You don't believe people have houses?
Well, do you just live at the ballpark? Like, what's happening?
People are.
But yeah, no. So the pitch clock.
Like that dude doesn't know how to use air quotes.
Yeah, you're using them too often, man. Like, stop it.
Oh, wow. Like, are you trying to say wow?
Oh God, it was like that skit where a guy he doesn't know how to use quotation marks is getting interviewed by the cops, and he's like, he's like, I didn't kill him. They're like, so you did? No. And they're like, what? But yeah, I mean, I saw some, but the pitch clock, I have no idea how it works. Apparently it works the other way too. So a pitcher was ready to throw the ball and a batter was taking too long, fixing his gloves, fixing his cleats, and he got called a third strike because he let the pitch clock hit zero. I think that's great. That's great.
Yes.
I mean, I think they said that the stats from spring training, it cuts off about a little over 90 minutes to 2 hours from game time, which is substantial.
And see, that's a big enough that's big enough down to where raise it up 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? If people are feeling rushed by it or whatever, if we can shave off 2 hours of a 4-hour game.
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean,
if there was enough to shave off to begin with.
Exactly. 2.5 hours. And then, you know, those big rivalries, a game that goes long, lots of hits, 3 hours, sure. But like you're averaging 3-hour games. Like that's too much, you know? So I think it's going to be, honestly, for the only time we watch baseball, Bobby, it's shitty for us. We only really watch baseball live, and that means less baseball for us.
To go get drunk.
It's the only time we want more baseball. I mean, now beer and inning has become an actual sport, you know?
Yeah.
I guess I'm like Sylvester.
What they should do is the pitch clock should start when the beers stop being sold. The moment concessions shut down, pitch clock starts. Or you have a longer pitch clock, and then after the concessions start, you have 5 seconds. 5-second pitch clock. Get up there, go. Like it's speedball. Just everyone things go.
Let me tell you this too. No more warm-ups. Pitcher doesn't get to come out there and have warm-up pitches. Go to the bullpen, throw you a few if you want. But like the inning ends and like we run down a pitch clock. The pitcher has to get onto the mound and the batter has to get out there to bat by the end of the pitch clock, and then the pitch clock starts again. You know what I'm saying? Like we're speed demon in game, and then we're going to get a lot more runs because a lot more mistakes are going to happen. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Let's make baseball better, baby. Give them metal bats.
That plus 4 steroids. We got ourselves and cork the metal bats. Oh, dude, we got ourselves a game on us.
I didn't even thought about that. Right, corking the metal ones.
Dame time, baby. Damian Lillard dropped 71 13 threes. I think you told me a insane stat before we started that it was the longest distance of thrown basketballs that made it into the hoop.
I think like up to like a certain level of points. I don't think like it counted wilts or whatever, like the 100-point games. But yeah, it was like a total of 420 feet of total shots made, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you've got to remember any layups and dunks are 0 feet from the basket. So I mean, but also I really put it in there. I mean, 71 points is phenomenal. That's amazing. But doesn't Damian Lillard have one of the best nicknames in all of sports? Do you agree with that? Dame time is it. Like, and just the amount of usages for it. Like, you know, he dropped 71. Somebody, you know, all you had to do is say it was Dame time, baby. You know, like I don't know. I just find it to be a fantastic nickname.
Yeah. One thing we don't have on here is I actually saw it this morning while I was watching Undisputed. Giannis was on the Today Show or something like that, the morning show, and he's reading off a script, but you know, he has a sign, and he he made a dig at Durant, saying, you know, Kevin Durant had to go change teams or go to a team to win a cup, and he's like, meanwhile I'm over here carrying this my team by myself. And I thought it was funny. Man, I gotta tell you what though, our boys Shannon Sharp did not find it funny. They thought that it was Undisputed. The guys over on Undisputed did not like it. They thought it was like a dig, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, he made a dig, man. Like, let's have some fun, dig. Bro. Like,
it was a dig. Kevin Durant has won championships with Steph Curry, who's won championships without Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's always going to get those digs, and you can not like it all you want, Shannon Sharp, but it turns out he's not Ja Morant. I bet you don't say it to his face. I'll bet you don't say it to his face.
Yeah. But they're talking about Giannis, and they're like, you know, Giannis over there, he's got Drew Holiday, probably one of the best defense in the league. And I'm like, bro, Drew Holiday is not the same. Playing with Drew Holiday is not the same as going to play with Steph Curry. Yeah. Let's stop that right now. Stop saying that Giannis is somehow on like a, you know, a superstar team because he's got Drew Holiday with him.
Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green with Steve Kerr coaching. They already won titles without you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'd already done what you came to them to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not even like, it's not like LeBron going to Miami with a group of folks and winning some at Miami. Like, you went to a team that had already won it and they helped you win it again, or they helped them win it again, but you win it. Yeah, that's silly. I mean, Shannon Sharp, say it to his face, bro. That's all I got to say. You ain't going to want that smoke.
Yeah.
What do you got here at the bottom, buddy?
Although Shannon Sharp Aaron Rodgers comes out of hibernation and sees his shadow. So no Packer Super Bowl for another year. But yeah, no, Aaron Rodgers came out of his little darkness retreat, whatever, where it's still the wildest thing to me that Aaron Rodgers can admit to it, and he goes out and he does hallucinogens like for a week during the offseason, but in which the NFL's fine with. But if he were to smoke weed, he'd get suspended. That seems weird to me that he can. Like, I can't remember.
No.
Like,
you have conflated the whole thing. Aaron Rodgers will get in trouble for nothing because he's Aaron Rodgers. If Zeke Elliott told people about his, darkness retreat, Goodell would have him sitting out 8 games before anybody could ever even say it. And Ben Roethlisberger would be tweeting out about it, how he's disappointed in Ezekiel Elliott for not sexually assaulting people and only getting suspended for a few games, but smoking weed and getting suspended for 8. It's just it's such an absolute joke that it's not legal for these guys to do it. Like, dude, if a football player wants to smoke pot on the sidelines at the Denver game, the only person that should have a problem with this is the head coach and their coaches and such. Like, dude, there is nobody that's like, dude, the only reason he won because you smoked like 6 blunts earlier, dude. That wasn't even fair. You were more equipped and ready for this. Yeah. So we know for sure that he's coming back to the Packers because he's being ridiculous. So.
Yeah. However, Josh Gordon was having himself a fucking week over in the XFL.
Yeah,
the boy is back at it, just being. I mean, honestly, dude, like
Flash Gordon,
it is real.
back,
Honestly,
baby.
the NFL. I hope the NFL sees their mistake. That if they weren't so backwards with their marijuana rules, Josh Gordon could be. Honestly, I think he had. I stick this. Everyone wants to say I was crazy. I think Josh Gordon could have been a Hall of Fame contender if he had played his entire career without all the breaks from being suspended. The man problem, is a freak athlete.
The weed thing is one thing for sure. The problem with Josh Gordon was a lot more. I think his like drinking and stuff. Like he was he was like. I mean, weed was why he got suspended and stuff. But a large part of his problems and stuff were like he was taking shots before games and stuff, type of deal. Like at the locker room, not like, oh, I'm gonna have a lucky shot before we go into the stadium.
I mean, dude, back in the day, dudes used to take shots and smoke cigarettes.
I'm not arguing that they're right. I'm just saying a lot of it wasn't just like the league that had ish. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he wasn't showing up to stuff and that kind of thing. So
imagine if dude actually like showed up to things sober and played.
No,
like the dude would be insane.
He said it. He was like, I would have been not shit, dude. I'm pretty, or maybe I'm making.
Well, then more proud to him.
I mean, he was like, I think he was one of those dudes that like, nah, bro, I got to play shredded. Like he's probably he's like I've gotten high.
Play like you trained.
He's like, I've gotten high before every practice and every football game since Pee Wee football. I don't even know the rules to football sober, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do you know what? Then if I'm the coach, I'm getting a plug for you in the locker room. I'm getting your own personal plug. I am keeping like a dude on staff. I'm keeping a private jet to Denver.
Oh, who's that? Who's this guy on the payroll? Who's this guy on the payroll? Oh, that's Josh. That's Josh Gordon's weed guy. That's his blunt roller, dude. Yeah, no, but you're right, man. We missed. I think we missed an opportunity of one of the greater careers of a football receiver, man. He was electric to watch. So
yeah, and I'm glad he's getting to play the sport he loves, though. Like, and
Me
still
too,
live his
dude.
life how he wants to.
How old
in
is
the
he?
XFL? I think the XFL is great for the sport. I have no
How
idea.
old is he?
Let me look that up. But I'm gonna say 32.
No, he's
31.
36. Oh, wow. That is wild, man.
1991.
If you look him up, he's still got his Titans
yeah.
jersey on. We probably still own the rights to him.
When I look him up, he's wearing a Cleveland jersey.
Really?
But all right, so yeah. Let's move into our main topic of the day: greatest underdogs in sports history. We think we've talked about this a little bit before, but we're talking about it again. This is a week after the anniversary of Miracle on Ice. So, Brandon, you're going to take the lead on this one. You wanted to talk about this a lot. I've got some that I want to talk about specifically, but take us away.
Yeah. Just wanted to, we've been doing this a long time now, Bob. Coming up on, over 2 years. This is episode 150. We gave you no fanfare for it because 150 is nothing to us, okay? We're looking for episode infinity, all right? That's what we're trying to do. But it's probably been a while since we've talked big underdogs. I'm sure that was one of our first few topics that we discussed. And so if you're not the type of person that goes back and listens to sports news and started listening to us, maybe you want to hear our discussions, and we definitely want to hear your points. But in looking it up, I found a men's journal that has 15 of the greatest underdog sports stories of all time. Only championships, though. Okay, we're not talking about, a sweet, a 16 seed going deep into the tournament or whatever. That's not. It's all championship based, just like the Miracle on Ice. But we got 15 here, and I mean, nothing came to mind outside of these 15. There's going to be a few that I didn't know about, but the ones that really came to my mind were there. So you had a couple favorites in that. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the one that we get to remember. We were there. We were probably there for, not at the game, but watching it live. New York Giants defeat the New England Patriots in is it Super Bowl 42? I'm little rusty on my Roman numerals, but I believe it was Super Bowl 42.
Yeah.
Patriots were at a 16-0 2007 regular season record. New York Giants came in as 12-point underdogs, which is a very large margin in a Super Bowl. And they came in as the wild card team at a 10-6 record, and came in and this was at this time, no wild card team had ever won a Super Bowl. So much less any wild card team beating the 16-0, 50 touchdown pass, Tom Brady, 23 touchdown reception to Randy Moss. So I mean, honestly, if it weren't for another one on this list, and I lied, I said championships. I don't think that's all right. That's accurate, right, Bobby? I don't think it's all championships. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Because this list has Appalachian State on it.
Yes, and but I guess that was literally cross league, so I guess that's a pretty big deal. But anyway, that Super Bowl was something else to watch. That was the David Tyree catch. It went to the very end of the game, a 17-14 football game. And I mean, weren't they averaging? The Patriots were averaging like 30, 35 points a game. I mean, they were so unreal and so good that it was unheard of. I mean, probably they're not the undefeated team in NFL. Probably the greatest football team. If you simulated that game 100 times out of 100 times, I mean, you would probably see the Patriots win a lot more often. So what an amazing thing. And that's a great thing about football is that all it takes is the one win. Another pretty recent, go ahead.
Well, I was going to talk about mine from this list, and another one that I remember
Sure.
watching was that 36 again, not great, but it was it all started with Drew Bledsoe's injury. Talk about the Patriots again. This is the era of where the Patriots really started to take off. Um, Drew Bledsoe goes out with an injury. Brady, who had only thrown 3 passes in his entire career, comes in, leads them to the playoffs, and leads them to go beat, at the time, was the juggernaut of the Rams. I mean, it's crazy to think just how different the league up for the last 20 years would be if Drew Bledsoe remained healthy that entire season.
Yeah.
We may not have seen, Tom Brady maybe doesn't start that season. Maybe he gets traded and doesn't mesh well with the other coach, and we have that void.
And again, it's not even just that Super Bowl win. I wouldn't even classify it just that Super Bowl win. I would classify it as that whole playoff series that they had. I mean, you had the snow kick with Adam Vinatieri, and I agree. That was at a time where I think I probably even cheered for the Patriots, because at the time the Rams had just beaten the Titans pretty recently in a Super Bowl. And and it was the big bad Rams, not the big bad Patriots. Now,
greatest show on turf,
the greatest show on turf. I mean, what a team, name. So I agree with you. That was one of my favorite ones, and ones that I get to watch, like to the point where I can remember we were painting my upstairs bonus room at the time and watching it on one of those little bitty TVs, with bunny ears and stuff. That's not your regular TV. It's not like today where you just move a TV into a new room if you need it. So, I agree. That was a really good
I remember
one.
Being at a neighbor's house. That was the game. That was the Super Bowl where my dad was teaching me about Super Bowl squares. That was the first year that he kind of was like, all right, this is how they work. And so that was I was learning about Super Bowl squares for that game.
Well, awesome. Let's see. Yeah. What a great two, getting to see the Patriots both win and lose one at the beginning of their dynasty and probably midway point of their dynasty. The next one that we have on the list, and this is something that again we we heard about very recently. But I don't watch a ton of Premier League. I'll watch Premier League. But Leicester City winning the 2015-16 Premier League title. The season may go down as the biggest long shot in sports history. The club was 5,000 to 1 odds at winning the season and clinched their first trophy in team history. The big thing is you don't get a lot of that. There's not salary caps in the Premier League, which kind of maintains and keeps, people grounded. So a small market club winning something like the Premier League is unheard of. They beat out Manchester United, Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, and the most unlikely champions in history. The thing that what was even more amazing is the year before they were nearly relegated, which means they were almost not even playing in this same league. So they earned just enough to stay in there. But just probably one of the better long-term winners we have on this list, because the Premier League is a long season, and it's one of those sports that talent usually trumps any type of coaching or anything like that. So for Leicester City to pull off that Premier League title, amazing. You want to hit this next one?
Give me just a second to pull.
Oh, you're good. I can do it, and then you can pull up the one after.
No, I got it here. NC State defeats Houston for the 1983 NCAA championship. The Wolfpack pulled off one of the biggest upsets in NCAA tournament history after taking down Houston, a team that had future NBA legends Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler, to win the 83 championship. With the game tied 52-52 and less than 5 seconds left on the clock, Derek Wittenberg of State put up an air ball shot or a pass, depending on who you ask, that Lorenzo Charles nabbed and dunked as the time expired. The clip of head coach Jimmy V rushing on the court looking for someone to celebrate with has become one of the most iconic moments in sports history.
Yeah,
Again, that's
one.
before our time, but yeah, I mean, I've seen that clip that they're talking about numerous times.
You ever heard of the little guy named Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler? I mean, why'd they even put them in here? Just some no name cats, dude. Yeah. So a pretty impressive a victory. And again, that's one of those things where back then, talent wasn't a lot of one and dones. You had your team and you built it for long term. Whereas, nowadays you may not have a full team, and that younger or that older team that's been together longer can upset some of these big guys. That didn't really happen a lot back in that day. So a very impressive. All right.
Yeah.
Bear with me.
Why don't we skip down a little bit? Oh, are you going to? I thought we were going to skip some of the more boring ones.
We'll skip. I'm just going to read it because we're talking about it. But Rulon Gardner defeats Alexander Karelin at the 2000 Olympics. Basically, the mighty Russian was fearsome force of nature, undefeated in international competition for 15 years. He won 3 consecutive gold medals, 7 consecutive world titles. Karelin hadn't conceded a single point in an international for a decade. Gardner hadn't even won an NCAA championship in his college career. I'm guessing this is Greco-Roman wrestling. So it seemed boring at first, but after I read it, my man's never even won the NCAA, but took down the guy that hadn't lost a point in 15 years. So that's pretty impressive. But we're going to skip to Greece winning the 2004 Euros. Greek team, a super small team in a nation with some soccer powerhouse. I don't know if you've heard this, Bobby, but in Europe, they watch soccer over football. But they will tell you they watch football number 1, but they're lying. They watch soccer. That's what they call football, bud. So they like that over. So they won the nation. They were back in the tournament for the first time in 24 years, and ended up beating France 1-0. So they on the way for the upset. Then they beat Czech Republic, and then they beat the host team of Portugal. So yeah, soccer is one of those tough things to win at. You got 11 people on the field. More times than not, the team with the better talent is going to win. This next one is one of my favorites, but you go ahead and hit it. So let's see what we got here.
Well, yeah, I both teams I despise with a burning passion. The Yankees, the Pittsburgh Pirates defeat the Yankees in the 1960 World Series. The New York Yankees had won 10 out of the last 12 pennants coming into the 1960 World Series. And they were strong favorites to win over the Pirates. The stats were all in favor of the Yankees, and by the end of the series, New York outscored Pittsburgh 55-27, but the results were not. The Pirates' Bill Mazeroski hit one of the most famous home runs in baseball history with his bottom of the 9th game, winning homer in Game 7 to take the championship, inspiring countless baseball dreams across America, except maybe in the Bronx. Listen, I love seeing the Yankees lose, but I hate seeing Pittsburgh win.
Well, it's the Pirates.
Yeah,
it's the
wild
Pirates.
that they
It's the Pirates, buddy. I mean, they've had such a bad, long-term history that it's okay for us to talk about it now. I'm confused about this. New York outscored Pittsburgh 55-27. You're telling me there was 80 plus runs in a series of baseball, and the team that lost was down by nearly double. I mean, I would just be amazed to see that. Anyway, that's pretty impressive.
I'm pulling up the box scores right now because one game had to just be lopsided, right?
Exactly. I mean, it had to have been like 30-0 or something. While you're doing
so
that,
game 1, I have it right here. Game 1, New York Yankees 4, Pittsburgh Pirates 6. So Pirates are up right now.
Okay.
Game 2, Yankees 16, the Pirates 3. All right, that's a big differential. Game 3, Pirates 0, New York 10.
Okay, so we're getting there a little bit.
Yeah, game 4, Pirates 3, New York 2. I'm starting to see a trend here that when the Pirates win, it's close. Game 6, the Yankees 12, the Pirates 0. And then game 7, obviously, walk-off homer, Pittsburgh 10, Yankees 9. So, yeah, when they lose, they lost big.
Okay, wow. That's super impressive. That's got to be one of the higher scoring series, right? I mean, I guess there's probably a time frame where there's a lot. New Jersey Devils winning the 95 Stanley Cup. They were the 5th seed after coming in, and then they swept the Red Wings 4-0 and took home the first championship in team history. So, pretty impressive win from the Devils. I remember this one. Next.
Holly Holm defeats Ronda Rousey in UFC 193 back in 2015. Coming into her match against Holly Holm, Rowdy Rousey was a good. I think she got that name after when she was in WWE. So I don't think we're gonna. I'm not gonna call her Rowdy Rousey because that's her wrestling name, not her UFC name. Ronda Rousey was good of a lock to defend her UFC bantamweight title as anyone in sports history. Rousey had to dominate her last 3 fights, winning them in 34, 16, and 14 seconds, and positioning her as a heavy favorite against Holm. But Holm dismissed all that talk as the boxing specialist neutralized Rousey's peerless grappling skill and knocked out the favorite with a brutal second-round kick felt around the world. Now, I personally find UFC one of the most boring sports in the world, and I
don't really watch it.
But if I'm going to watch fight, I'm just going to go watch boxing.
Oh, no, not me.
But
no, UFC is much more entertaining than boxing.
I'd rather watch. I mean, not anymore. Boxing now is because it's all rigged, but back when the Klitschko brothers were big, back in the early 2000s, like I like big heavyweight boxing matches. I'm not going to go watch, Jake Paul go on along with the script with people.
Well, the big thing is it's technical. I don't really care about the technicalities. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not an eye test necessarily. It's not who won this fight. It's who got more points. I don't like that. But anyway, I get what you're saying. I was never a big fan either.
That's why Mike Tyson's my boy. Mike Tyson's, in my opinion, the greatest boxer of all time because he's going to knock people out.
He knew what he was supposed to
interesting.
Do. Exactly. Yeah. I think one of probably both of our favorites on this list. The really thing that makes college football the fun thing that it is, Appalachian State beating number 5 Michigan in the first game of the season on 2003. It's not quite the disparity, but it's like a high school team beating a junior college team. And so it was unheard of when this happened. It was the college football game heard around the world, bro. I mean, it was and I hate Michigan. So you cannot. And if you got a Michigan friend, just all you gotta do is bring up App State to them. Like, at least we didn't lose to Appalachian State.
I agree. This is one of my favorite upsets of all time. However, there is a downside of this, and this game has become the poster child for cupcake games. Unfortunately, you know my opinion on cupcake games. I don't like. Every time I get in a conversation about someone, they're like, "Oh, what about Appalachian State? Appalachian State never would have beat Michigan if not for cupcake game." Okay, they're an outlier, man. Yeah, it's great to see this every once in a while. It doesn't mean every single team needs to have 3 cupcake games a season. I'm not saying shouldn't exist, but man, it really has become a thorn in my side every time you try to have this conversation and they have this straw man argument about Appalachian State. It gets thrown back in my face with that.
I'm with you, but like we said, greatest underdog in history in my mind. And then we'll just fly through a few of these other ones. We're getting a little slow on time, but Buster Douglas defeating Mike Tyson in 1990. He was Tyson was a 42-1 favorite. That's a pretty big payout there. Villanova beating Georgetown for 1985 national championship. That was, I believe, Patrick Ewing's team, and Villanova was the first number 8 seed to win the tournament. So we've been hearing quite a bit about Villanova lately. I'm sure that was probably the start to their great recruiting and run. And then the first Super Bowl the first merger in the first Super Bowl in history the New York Jets defeated the Baltimore Colts. The Jets were the AFL team and were considered inferior to their NFL counterparts. So when they went in and Joe Namath guaranteeing the victory in the game. Broadway Joe and the Jets put up a 16-7 victory. And then Miracle on Ice is the number one, but then the final one was the New York Mets winning in 1969. They had finished the previous season with 101 losses, but finished with a record of 162 and beat the they won the first newly National League East title, and then they beat the Orioles, who had 3 future Hall of Famers: Jim Palmer, Frank Robinson, and Brooks Robinson, and they were heavily favored in the series. And the Amazons earned their nickname with the 4-1 series win. So,
yeah.
Let us know what you guys think, and what did we miss? What underdogs in history got slighted on this list that we brought up?
Yeah. Before we move on, we do have some more breaking news, this time out of Toronto. Luke Shen heads to Toronto in exchange for a 2023 third-round pick. This is Toronto's third move of the day.
Luke Shen is the Canucks?
Yes. Vancouver. This is the Leafs' third trade of the day. Man, these NHL GMs really want to screw over all the trade deadline day shows that were planned for the NHL. All these networks say we're gonna have a trade deadline show. Yeah,
not ours. They're really hooking up our show, bro.
Yeah. Let's head into games of the week.
Games of the week. Bobby and Brandon do the work, so you don't have to. The best from around the NHL and what to watch.
All right. We're going to fly through this a little bit. We're already at 1 hour. But I think you've got a score update. I had a rough week.
Even rougher than I had last week, which is unfortunate. We really flopped.
0-5 for your boy.
But still maintaining a slight lead at 50-36. I went a solid 4-1 on games picked, but 3-2 in betting. So I didn't make a big push up in the betting world, but I'm 48-36-1. Bobby, you're still sitting at 92-55. I didn't consult with you, but I'm guessing all of those L's didn't bring you in much cash flow. But again, the 2 I lost were my big money puck lines. And so I'm sitting at 91-62. So slightly behind you, less than $1 behind you. But again, both of us still positive money, $85 in. Why don't you just go through all 5 of your picks? I'll go through all 5 of mine separately. I feel like that'll probably speed us up a bit.
Yeah. All right. On Thursday, I've got Pittsburgh at Tampa. I'm taking Tampa money line. On Friday, I've got Carolina at Arizona. I'm taking Carolina puck line. I've got on Saturday, Nashville going to Chicago. I'm gonna go with my heart and my brain a little bit. I'm gonna go Nashville money line. On Sunday, I've got Detroit going into Philly. I'm gonna take Detroit on this one. I'm gonna take them puck line. And then I've got Edmonton at Buffalo on Monday. I'm taking the away team Edmonton, and I'm going to take them puck line. See if I can make a little bit of money this week.
There you go. Hopefully for your sake that they are the favorite, because Buffalo has been playing good hockey and they may not be. Okay. Yeah. Senators game, Thursday game, Senators playing the Rangers. I'm going with the easy money, Rangers puck line. Devils playing Vegas at 9 p.m. on the 3rd Friday. Going with Vegas straight up money line. Avs Stars on Friday at 2:30 p.m. Is that right? No, that's incorrect. Saturday the 4th at 2:30 p.m. I'm going to go with the Stars puck line, mostly in hopes that they're the underdog and I get the +1.5. But we'll see. I'll have to see. But I do think the Stars will win either way. Lightning Hurricanes on the 5th, Sunday. I got the Hurricanes money line. Sticking with the home team trend here, the Capitals Kings on the 6th, Monday at 9:30 p.m. Going with the home team, going with the Kings, no puck line. But I feel I got a solid crew at home this week. So let's see what we can do.
Nice. Let's go ahead and do joke of the week.
The weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like that. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each sixth chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
You're kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
All right, this week's joke of the week comes from our own backyard, being the NHL, and our very own Gary Bettman, who is pleading with Arizona lawmakers and Arizona citizens to pass the 1.7 billion with a B move to keep the Coyotes in Arizona, which means turning a current literal landfill into a new stadium. And I guess they are calling it some like the Tempe.
Hold on, isn't there
amusement area?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Bobby, but isn't their current stadium on Arizona State's campus? Aren't they going to be mad if they destroy that? Boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Got him.
God, you dumbass.
But for real though, not too much hate to ASU. We love ourselves. We love our party.
No, that's what I'm saying. Don't destroy it, baby. Let's go.
But they so pretty much the only way that Arizona and the city said they could stay there is if they need 1.7 billion dollars. So Gary Bettman comes out and literally pleads and says that let's turn this landfill into a landmark. Let's pass this. The team needs this. It's like the point at which the commissioner is coming out and begging fans to make this happen. You know who he didn't have to beg to make this happen? When the Preds were in the early 2000s were about to leave Nashville, the commissioner didn't need to come out and beg Nashville fans. The fans did it because the fan base was there. When you know what? There is a ready fan base and a brand new NHL caliber arena in Quebec City. Brand new. They literally built it to specifications for the NHL. There's a fan base there. Why are we trying to make hockey in the desert work? The science experiment has failed. Listen, any normal listeners, everyday listeners know us. We want hockey to succeed everywhere. I wish hockey would succeed in the desert. I think it's great for the game. But didn't work in Arizona.
If I'm the commissioner, I'm not bringing another team to Atlanta, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, Atlanta failed as an experiment twice, okay? Why we keep this going? But I'll tell you what makes me more mad and what's more of a joke than asking us fans.
I don't think they should take it to Atlanta.
I don't. No, I'm not saying you said that. I'm saying, like, if I was the commissioner,
okay,
you just got to know when a place is done and it's failed and it's not going to work anymore. Yeah. The bigger problem I have with this is we have, within the past few months, have seen a guy that we've talked about in Joke of the Week borrow $44 billion to buy Twitter. Okay? Able to borrow that money, purchase So, I'm so sick and tired of this. Well, it's a $1.7 billion. They don't have the funds to come up with it. It's not liquid. They're a billionaire that owns a pleasure business in a $1 billion industry. Get a loan, buddy. Yeah. Get a loan. If I want to get a new house and I'm like, guys, all my friends and family, if I don't get this house built, I'm not going to be able to live close to you guys. Well, I hope you guys would all say what I would say to you. Well, either get a better job or move somewhere where you can. I'm not building you a house. You've got plenty of money. I'm sorry you can't live in this mansion that you want to live in. There's plenty of affordable homes in the area that you want. Like, that's what's happening here. A business owner is, and I know that's a little different with tax breaks or whatever, but let's stop joking around here. The money ain't there from the city. Get the loan or find you a new home to live, brother. Yeah, what a joke, Batman. What an absolute joke. Dude sends out memos telling his teams that they're going to obey the rules that they have written down. What a joke.
Yeah. All right, let's move into what's snapping your stick.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All right, so this morning, I'm getting ready to go to work, and I'm actually trying to find a number right now to... All right, got it right here. This morning, I'm trying to go to work. I sit down for my coffee. I want to watch a little bit of some NHL news because it's recording day. I'm an NHL fan. We're coming up on the trading deadline. I want to see what's going on. So I go to the home of sports, the channel that spent 1.9, almost more than $2 billion to cover NHL for the next 10 years. Not a single word about hockey for the entire segment. I sat down for about 20 minutes, nothing. The only thing I saw was on the ticker. ESPN, bought out the rights to NHL to cover it on their family of channels from NBC, and they don't even talk about it. They spend 35 minutes talking about LeBron, and fine, that's sports news. Talk about it a little bit. No point in having 3 different segments about LeBron.
I think we've
so then I go to ESPN too. Surely, if their flagship if ESPN flagship isn't having it, maybe they're talking about ESPN too. Nope, talking about LeBron over there too. I'm like, all right, well, where the hell am I getting? I don't have an NHL Network anymore because you guys raised the price on me, so I assumed I could get it on ESPN. Nope.
Yep. And it was it was really one of those situations where we gave them a good shot, but it was the devil, NBC was going to cover hockey for you. I mean, that was what you were going to get. You're right. I mean, this isn't even a new issue. I remember the day I was a religious watch SportsCenter every single morning from the time I had to have been in middle school. I'd wake up and I'd be getting ready and SportsCenter would be on from the time of middle school. The fourth day that I had to hear the 30-minute segment of Jeremy Lin and Linsanity, I was done. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, I can remember, and I love Jeremy Lin, and I loved that Linsanity that, like, hey, he's having a crazy... This is SportsCenter. Why am I spending 30 minutes watching a guy that did well playing sports? I should be watching him and all of his people. So there was a day that SportsCenter died to me. And so we shouldn't be surprised. We try, we rooted for him. But it was our own fault, Bobby. We flew too close to the sun. We got to be careful. People do listen to us on this podcast. And, I mean, it's maybe our fault, bud. We take credit for all the good stuff that happens, the early trades and stuff. We got to take the bad as well. All right, Bob. So I'm going to include you in on this as well. Obviously, I've already asked you this question, but you answered it correctly the first time I asked you. You're the proprietor, business liaison, and owner of a college town late night pizza joint in which folks are able to... You're open and people are coming inside there. You got tables and a whole bunch of space. What's your game plan if you're a pizza in?
Turn around, baby.
Get that pizza out quick, right? This place that we went to in West Lafayette, and Bobby, I wish I could tell you. I don't remember the name because I was so disgusted with it. I'm going to be honest with you, though, buddy. I don't remember the name because I was a little drunk. Okay. I'd had a few.
We got to put them on blast.
But we went in there, bro, and we ordered the pizza or whatever. An hour and 10 minutes to get us 2 medium pizzas. Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing as a pizza? Like, you should be rocking out like 45 pizzas a minute.
Yeah.
And see if they were handing out.
Was it pizza uncommon?
I don't. Maybe it sound. No, you know what it was? It was. It's like brick
Mad
top
mushroom?
mushrooms, mad mushroom. That's what it was.
Yeah.
No. But no, and it wasn't like they were sending out pizzas by the minute and we were just way back in the line, dude. I think the time in the hour and 10 minutes that we were there, I think we saw 4 pizzas come out the door, bro. I'm just saying. When I asked you the question and you said, get you your pizza quick, I was so proud because that literally, it can taste like anything. Okay. You could be frying up Tostinos back there and just get it to me in like 10 minutes and I probably won't say anything. Okay. So,
Yeah.
snapping my stick, bro. It wasn't even a bad time, but it was the only annoyance really that I had the entirety of the time that I was there. So,
Yeah. Nothing worse than when you're drunk and eat pizza and they won't fucking give it to you.
nah, dude, I know.
But all right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully you all came out and had a good time at May Day. And if you didn't, hopefully see you next time. For Brandon, I'm Bobby. This has been Pucks Out Podcast. We'll see you all again next time.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.